take you for your money in whatever spring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me.
Everybody in AstroWorld, how are we doing this evening? What is going on?
Hey.
We made it on. It's 9 o'clock. Woohoo!
It's 9 o'clock and we're on time.
Unbelievable. I can't. I'm so excited. I'm super excited about being on time. We are never on time. None of us are on time. I guess something always happens, and we're playing with some new toys, and I'm sure there'll be some glitches along the way, but you know what? I mean, so far, 9 o'clock, and we're here, and maybe we'll actually, we'll be done at a decent hour. Oh, wow, what is that? We got a lower third, too? Oh,
Look at this. Yeah, we're expanding.
So if any of the people out there are interested in seeing what we're up to, feel free to subscribe to us at this side. No.
Yep.
Backwards.
Other side.
Oh.
Other side. There you go.
There we go.
It's backwards.
At AstroWorld TV, at YouTube, we're on Instagram at AstroWorld_TV, Twitter and Twitch. I probably take that out, but
Yeah, we
haven't
probably
done
should
much
take
on
that out.
Twitter. but we are on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you guys for and girls and ladies and men showing up to check us banter, boys and girls and gender neutral and
everything in between.
All the beautiful people. Thank you.
Yes, right from a Beatles tune. There you go.
Yep.
Oh man.
But I got a couple of things to talk about tonight, but I know there's something on everybody's mind that I'm gonna wait to bring that up.
Go ahead.
We'll save that for the rant portion.
All right.
Yeah. But the whole thing is that I know you, Eric. You're in the same spot as I am. We have
a dead body in behind me. Holy crap!
I see Bones. Bones is cool. Bones is hanging out. Nice. I thought that was your son for a second in a skeleton costume.
Yeah, in his costume saying, "Yeah, clickbait."
I thought he was gonna jump up, later on in the show and just sit there for like hours and just wait to jump at us. But we have had some really awesome weather in New York.
It's been crazy. It has been crazy. I don't know what it is like it's been for you, but for me, it's been awesome.
I'm on my 5th straight night imaging. I'm exhausted. I'm completely exhausted.
Wow.
Well, delirious is more like it, but you're getting there.
I haven't had 5 straight nights of anything in probably years. And I gotta say, Jason, we don't hate you because it's probably the smoke that's pushing through you and we don't hate you.
Well, I'm actually traveling this week, and next week I'm in Dearborn, Michigan, visiting with my family, and actually have a job here. So I've been very lucky in that I'm able to be here and visit with them in between doing my 10 to 18-hour days, which I have tomorrow. But it's been really cool because I get to spend time with my folks, brought my wife and daughter with me. We're doing a little vacation on the back end of this. So as you can tell, my background's changed. I'm in Mom and Dad's dining room. But, enjoying a little bit of change of scenery.
There you go.
I mean, it's awesome that you could actually get work and be with your family at the same time. I think that's a really, really, really cool thing, especially with your situation, you living in Arizona and your parents living in another state. I think that's really cool that you actually have that opportunity. So,
No,
so live it
I'm
up
very
while you're there.
blessed,
So,
and I've got a really great client here, and they just keep throwing work at me. So
Nice.
hey,
I'm enjoying every moment of it. What
work
was
is
supposed
good,
to
man.
be
Work is good.
supposed to be a week of work, week of vacation, and now they've shaved a day off my vacation. I have to fly home, drop the family off, come back, and do a 5-day run, and then fly back home, repack bags, and fly to the next show. So it's almost
Okay.
like back to the old times. It's really good.
Hey, you know what? For you, I really hope it is because I know you've been going through some rough patches with getting work with, especially with the situation.
Yeah.
The industry that you're in, it's kind of closed up for a little bit.
Well,
you know.
and the nice thing is, it's really cool for me to be part of the forefront, coming back online with all my brothers and sisters in the industry, still struggling to even find work. And the fact that this is show number 3, it's spectacular. And I've got 2 more on the books already, and 3 kind of floating out in the ether, which hopefully will solidify over the next month or so. So I'm
Good.
very blessed and looking forward to getting the whole industry back online.
Just as long as you leave Wednesday nights open, we're good.
Yeah, this is a really good test because it's the first week that we've successfully come online with my laptop, and being able to do this quite remotely. Remotely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
and
talk.
it seems to be working very, very well. So I like this new format, even though most of the people that are watching at home probably don't really see much of a difference. But from behind the scenes, there is a huge difference. So thank you, Jason,
Yep.
for investigating the opportunities with the software and kind of putting it together. So thank you so much for the. I know you put a lot of work into this craft. So
No,
thank you so much.
I'm super excited that we can kind of do some of the back end stuff to bring a little bit better production value, and hopefully, make a better product for you guys. So
Yeah.
looking forward to what we can do.
No,
This
it's not
is
you.
awesome.
It's us.
Yeah.
This is everybody. This is a team effort, bro.
Well,
you
and I'm loving the support that we've been able to build, and all of the people around
Yeah.
us have really done to kind of bolster the whole show. So it's been really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're this close to cracking 500. We're this close, and
Inching week by week.
and I finally finished my Pelican Nebula video. It will be for general consumption. It's a little long because I kind of made a little joke. There's a bunch of really random fails in the video, so feel free to kind of watch the end and see the picture, and then go back and see where I screwed up everything. So but I got about 5 different fails in there that kind of run around, and of course I have a sci-fi tangent in there somewhere.
That's part of growing, right?
Okay.
But
Dude, I don't know if you guys. I know you guys have had. You've seen my latest postings on Facebook. I've had some fun success these past couple nights, man.
yeah.
Andromeda. Tweaking that out. That was pretty cool. And I
Now
was
was
talking
that
with
old
Jason.
data that you were messing with, or is this new data that?
No, that's new data. That's 2020 data.
Okay.
So fresh new data. I did 180-second exposures versus 2019 when I first got the RASA. Those were 60-second exposures. So
Okay.
I added a bit more time. I'm getting a lot more comfortable with Pix Insight, thanks to Ron Breesher and the guys at Masters of Pix Insight. I'm starting to get a lot more comfortable with that, and I'm actually integrating more, doing more integration with APP, and then swinging it over into Pix Insight. So it's been learning a lot of the modules. Got some really good info just off of YouTube videos from Sean Nielsen, which gave me some really good tips on HDR. Where and that really helped out because he has a video on HDR, and he actually HDR transformation, and he actually uses as an example M31. So I was learning by doing and following along with him, and the core of M31 looks awesome in my opinion on this new, not blown out at all versus last year. So a lot of good learning that I've had, some really good weather and just learning and having a lot of fun. And then did the Cave Nebula, posted that out. So yeah, it's been about a busy week, man. A busy couple weeks with some really clear skies. So it's been a lot of fun.
It's unbelievable. I mean, now we got a couple of days of rain coming in. I mean, 5 days, I want to say maybe 4, but 4 or 5 days. I mean, I'm kind of a mess because I was able to finish my data. I'm gathering so much more data that I can't process anything. I've just been sleeping.
Right.
So I was able to finish the Pelican. I was able to. I just made a little left turn. And I went to did the North American. Now I'm doing the bubble.
Okay. Yep.
Well, I'm doing the bubble right now, and what I'm trying to do with the bubble now is I'm not only doing narrowband, but I'm also doing RGB.
Okay.
So I'm going to plaster the RGB stars into the narrowband data, and
okay, that'll look good.
Yeah. So that'll be my first real effort on the whole kind of it's I guess the 6 filters, putting it all together. So that'll be my first test.
Nice.
On that. Because awesome. The bubble nebula in an 80 millimeter is tiny, but you definitely see it. But you got a nice nebula on the left. You got a nice cluster on the right, and it's framed really nice. So I think it's going to be good.
Nice, man. I'm looking forward to checking that one out.
I just finally, maybe now that we finally, I never thought I'd say this. I said I can't wait for cloudy weather so I could start processing this stuff.
Easy now, Dan. Fall's coming.
Literally,
Go ahead.
No, I got probably 20 to 25 plus hours on each object.
Wow.
And it's just, do I need that much? Probably not. But I mean, the detail of it is going to be sick. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I've been playing around and experimenting, and I was just telling you guys earlier, I saw someone who posted using a filter wheel on the Rasa 8.
Right.
And they're saying that you really can't do it because of the imaging, because it blocks the objective. You can't really do it.
Right.
Blocks the mirrors. So, but this guy said he did it. So, you know what? I experimented just, about an hour ago. And what happened? Absolutely nothing. Major vignetting. I mean, I have this big circle of light and then nothing, and and all around it is just this big nothingness. It's just a huge circle of just nothing. I'm just like, all right, well, that was a waste of time. But at least I know now.
Kind of like my dark shark and narrowband.
Just maybe it worked for him, and maybe he's doing something a little bit differently than I was, and I'll have to find this guy, acquire a little bit, but for the first run, didn't work for me. So back to the the filter slider.
Yeah, maybe he's doing something that we don't know, or he didn't explain on a video or the posting.
Posting.
I'd be interested to know, because I don't have a Rasa, but I'd be interested to know how he actually figured that out, and actually able to got videos of. I don't know if I put his post up yet, because I don't know if we want disinformation out there, but.
Sorry about that, Eric. I was clicking buttons and accidentally threw it over the wrong.
You're always clicking buttons, man.
That's what my whole screen does.
The producer's back here clicking buttons, seeing what works here, what works there, and this kills the entire feed.
Well,
So George Lutz said you could
See?
do the filter wheel with
all these
11
buttons.
inch.
Yeah, I know you can do it with the 11-inch, but this guy apparently did it with the 8-inch. It looked like the 8-inch, and he had the mini filter with a 5 filter wheel, and that which is what I have. I have one of those. So I was like, okay, it could be small. It looks like it could be small enough. Maybe this could work, but no, it didn't. Even with me using, because I was using the M42 adapter, and you can't even get the M42 adapter. You can't even get the filter wheel on with just the adapter. I had to use I have a little 3 millimeter thick adapter for M42, and that I had to screw on to even try to attach it, because I couldn't attach it directly onto the Rasa itself, onto the M42, because as soon as because the ring that secures the adapter, it gets in the way. So
wow. Okay.
All
right. Well, try again. All I know is that my next project, after I'll be done with the Bubble Nebula tonight. As far as
you're working on it too, huh?
The Bubble?
Yeah, I was actually working on that myself.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you after you go through your story, but I'll tell you about my adventure with the Bubble.
Oh, well. I got about 13 hours already. I'll do the last bit tonight with the RGB stars. Like, I'll get about. I want to say I got 100 minutes of each RGB, which should be fine just for car color. I mean, I'm not worried about anything else. And then after that, I think I'm finally gonna put this together.
You're gonna okay.
And put the EAF on it and do whatever, and then I'll kind of play around, and that'll get me 970, I think, millimeters focal length.
Okay.
So that's a fairly big jump. Get me double. Go from 400 to 970.
So what are you? Yeah, because what are you usually shooting at? Are you usually shooting at 400? Is this the deepest you usually? Is this the deepest you've gone, and the narrowest you've gone is 970?
No. I've gone up to a 14-inch Schmidt.
Okay.
I've had opportunities to shoot with my 18-inch Dob for planetary. So I've done larger scale or smaller scale objects.
Gotcha.
But recently, over the past couple of years, I went from an 8-inch Schmidt to a 127 refractor to an 80 refractor, and now the 80 refractor is good. Now I want a little bit more. I want to get a little bit deeper. So it'll be this, and I think my next scope is probably going to be, and I'm eyeing it very closely, the 9 1/4 edge. I think is going to be my next.
one. Okay, all right. For deep sky, are you mostly looking for planetary or more deep sky as well?
Both. I got this little guy for planetary. I think this will be good. This is a 127 Mac.
Yep.
Well, it's funny you're talking about the 9 1/4 HD, because that was one of the ones that Mark and I were talking about the other day, because he's talking about trying to find an Edge HD or a SCT to start doing more planetary and smaller nebula. So
there he is. Yeah, I saw your son speaking in the background. I see him.
He's trying to sneak up on the bones.
Yeah, I know, right?
You should hang out with the skeleton, man.
So you saying Mark is looking at a 9 1/4 right now himself?
He'd kind of been hemming and hawing. I was looking at the 9 1/4 over the 8, but he's really leaning hard towards like the 11 HD, or at the very minimum the 9 1/4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at 9 1/4 is in that kind of sweet spot for me as far as weight.
It's a good sweet spot. It's got a good focal length.
And don't get me wrong, I still hate Schmidt Cassegrain. I still hate them. But you know what? to get that long of a focal, and you know what? The thing about the Edge HD, it's got those nice mirror locks on the back. I'm going to change out the focuser. I'm not going to leave that that knob. I'm not going to get the feather touch knob focuser that moves the mirror back and forth. I'll get a rear cell focuser for it. So that eliminates the mirror moving. Once it's locked, it's not going anywhere. You know, and then it's just a rear cell focuser because I'm not dealing with mirror flop.
We gotta take Eric full screen. This is too funny. He's being shark attacked.
The return of the shark.
Oh my God! It's the return of the dark shark. Hey, come here, clickbait. Come on over here, clickbait. Oh my goodness! This kid's gonna be a TikTok YouTube star.
Well, didn't they ban TikTok Sunday?
Did they? Who knows, dude? I can't keep up with all of the.
You know, I don't want to badmouth on a public platform, but a certain presidential leader decided that he was going to executive order that he was going to ban TikTok in the U.S. So it's officially, if you have it, you can still use it, but you can't download it after Sunday unless things change.
Oh, whatever, dude.
I've been working, so I haven't been able to pay attention.
This one here, he's all over, you know, social media and doing that, you know, TikTok, you know, dancing and with the shark puppet and everything else. I'm trying to get him into trying to get him more into hanging out with me and, you know, and doing stuff that I do. Then he just looks at me like I'm crazy, like
something productive.
Yeah, exactly, something productive. Exactly. It's like, what? But we'll see, because I was actually going to talk to him and say he would be interested in getting a telescope for himself and checking it out, you know, because I've got an 8-inch Schmidt, which works fine for the family and everything. But I was thinking if he would be maybe interested in getting like a small Dob, like an 8-inch Dob, or, you know, maybe even a 10, you know, that we can take out in the front. You know, and for visual and just let them have some fun, you know, get like an Orion Dob or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? I still have my Dob upstairs. I got a 12-inch XXI, which has the push to and telescope on it, and I love it. The optics are great for what it was. I mean, that was a going away present from my dad. That was the last purchase on his credit card before he died that I never paid for. So. So you know, I got the scope open box. I don't remember who I bought it from. I bought it open box at Neat. So I took it and I charged a credit card, and I'm sure they got paid for it. I just didn't pay the bill. But you know, but the scope is awesome. I mean, you know, it's a push to Dob. It's a 12-inch, and it's a half truss, so it comes apart.
Okay, it comes apart. Okay, so yeah, because I was even looking at those go-to Dobs. You know, but those go-to Dobs are too expensive for me to, you know, to invest. Yeah, you know, for him. You know,
go-to are like I want to say it was on sale for $2,000 for the.
Something like that. Yeah, because I was looking at a 10-inch, and the 10-inch go-to is like around $1,300 or something like that. I was like,
you get the push 2 from Orion, and it works just as good.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. That's it. You know, all we need to do is just get them. Get them. I've got 2 Telrads downstairs. Get a Telrad on it. You know, and get it all just, you know, and get it all in line. And then, hey, there's a planet there. There's a planet there. Here, you know, I'll give you the iPad. Let them do Sky Safari. Yeah, let them do Sky Safari and say, oh, okay. And then point and then let them learn a little bit, you know, and say, all right, it's in the Telrad. It's in the eyepiece. There you go, Jax. Have fun. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But I just want to get him to do something.
I know.
Especially now that he's you know, here at home. You know, now with all this COVID stuff, he's there's really no gym or anything like that unless he runs outside and hangs out with his friends and stuff like that. And he's just always in the house because of school, that he's doing school,
Right.
school here at the house. So, just, another thing for him to do, and not always
Oh,
be in front of a
exactly.
TV. So,
Yep.
but yeah, but anyway, getting, back to talking about us instead of Shark Boy over
Hey.
here.
All right. So let's talk about what I'm sure a lot of people's minds are on right now. And I got to tell you, I woke up on Saturday morning to the most, it disrupted my whole day. I woke up to a horrible, horrible email. And, it's really not that bad. I guess I'm blowing it out of proportion a little bit. But Sequence Generator Pro decided to go to a subscription-based platform.
I'm glad I bought it
And
now.
well, you're still kind of screwed. So if you're a new customer now, Sequence Generator Pro now costs $149. And for every year, it'll still work for whatever it is. If you do have 3.1, it'll still work. You won't get any updates until you pay the $59 a year subscription fee, and that will be every year. So in the grand scheme of things, it's only $5 a month, and for what it does, I think it's well worth it. But I was kind of annoyed at it, getting that email on Saturday morning saying that they're, literally, like I had a customer at Camera Concepts that accidentally downloaded 3.2, 3.3, I'm sorry, 3.3, the new version.
Yeah.
He bought 3.2 2 days before the email came out, and now 3.3 doesn't work. So he couldn't get it to load. He couldn't get the installer to run. He couldn't get anything to work. And I'm there giving a class. And I was like, dude, I don't know anything. I got the email this morning. I don't know what to tell you.
Man.
I just wonder. I really wonder how many people, may not pay that $5 a month and run to something like Nina, which is free. But if you're in a situation like myself, who has an S-Big camera, and all the S-Big users out there are not eligible to use Nina because S-Big is a little prissy and will not let the SDKs out and won't let the drivers out and won't do anything that's kind of ASCOM-ish. It's got to run on their own drivers. And so that is not an availability for us. So it's either spend the $59 a year for Sequence Generator Pro, or spend $2,000 on a new camera. New
camera.
What was that?
I was just chanting new camera.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good excuse to me. Cheers.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? So I was on I know, Eric, you went on it a couple of weeks ago on the first one, but I did go on the Pix Insight for newbies. That was hosted by Warren Keller and Ron Brescher and Peter Pruitt. And for anybody who doesn't know this, Peter Pruitt, who runs IP4AP.com, Ron Brescher, who runs AstroDoc.ca, and Warren Keller, who writes the first and second and hopefully third edition eventually of Inside Pix Insight, which is a great book for you new people and that are trying to learn Pix Insight, or even if you need some for reference. It's an awesome piece of material. They're doing they're doing a series of virtual workshops called the website's mastersofpixinsight.com, and they do a Pix Insight for newbies, which they just finished yesterday, and now they're doing next steps for newbies on October 6th. So if I'll be honest with you, I picked up some stuff just from going to the newbie stuff. And, a little trick here, a little trick there. And even if you guys think that you know everything on Pix Insight, I'm sure you'll pick up something. So check it out.
Yeah. Like I said, I just going through the newbie Pix Insight, it made me so much more comfortable
Sure.
because even in in our past chats and when I first got started here with AstroWorld TV, I was pretty much just AstroPixel processor, and then move over to either Photoshop or Lightroom, and I had Pix Insight, but I was only using it for Blink. Remember that?
I remember you telling me about that.
I only used it
Yeah,
for
I'll
Blink.
spend like $250 for a program that I can preview all my pictures. Then I'll just throw it in the drawer and let
Yeah,
it collect dust for a while.
yeah, exactly. So, and everybody was just giving me all kinds of, all kinds of grief about that. Like, you're only using it for what? So, but no, I was just so intimidated, and so nervous of the learning curve. But,
Mhm.
with Ron Brescher, and the guys at Masters of Pix Insight, they made it, they've helped me so much just in the comfort
Sure.
level of just with that 2 hours. If you see any of my more recent photos that I have done, it's now I integrate in APP because there have been tendencies where weighted batch processing will crash on me. So
Yeah,
I
we
will
got to
go
figure that
and
out,
do
bro.
yeah, we do. So, or I'm doing the easy suite in the easy suite in Pix Insight, something will go wrong there. So,
Yeah, I don't.
but I integrate in APP and do my light pollution calibration and deal with the light pollution. Then I just save it as an stretched fit and then move it right into
Okay.
PI. And I've got my workflow basically just off of what the Master of Pix Insight helped set up for
Yeah.
us. And then I just started looking at more of Sean Nielsen's videos and
Yeah.
Adam Block's, and then learning a bit more here and there, and started adding extra modules,
Yeah.
as I got more comfortable, to the workflow. And for the past couple months since I've started doing, more of Pix Insight, I can tell the difference. I can definitely tell the difference.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm
I'm
definitely
sure.
going into
I'm
the
sure.
next one. I'm going, $35 and then going to the next level. Money well spent.
Yeah,
So
you can't
I'm
beat
doing
it.
it.
35 bucks, man. I mean, there was last night there was almost 70 people on
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to make it on. I really wanted to sit through that one.
But you know what? Even if you want to, you can actually. I want to say I'll double check on this, but I'm pretty sure that you can still purchase it, and you'll still get access to all the materials and the replay of the video.
Yeah.
So they're putting the replay of the video, I think, up on Saturday or Sunday. So if you bought a subscription to Masters of Pix Insight, you'll be able to see it. And then
Yep.
the 6th of October, then they're going to do the intermediates, or I think they call it next steps for newbies.
Yeah. Next step
They
for
talk a little
newbies.
bit more
Yeah.
about calibration. Yeah, they talk a little bit more about calibration. I made a joke on thing. I said, when are you going to do a whole series on pixel math? so
Well, maybe what we need to do is have Ron do a quick little video clip off of his phone and send it to us, not necessarily as a promo, but to just get the word out there so we can help share it and get people the info that they need to get out there and get part of that class.
Yeah.
yeah, sure, absolutely.
Because like I said, I'm spending the $35. I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the class itself, but I'm spending the money
Right.
so I can go ahead and get the video, and
Yep.
then I can go back and I can just watch the video, and you can watch it for, I think they let you have access for I think up to 3 months.
Yeah,
They
it's
keep
something
it
like
posted
that. Yeah.
for like 3 months, so, and you just
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
going back, and I don't know how many times I've gone back to that video. For beginners for
yeah,
Pix Insight, I don't know how many times I've gone back to that just for reference.
absolutely. I was like, oh, what did he do there? What did I do? I know I did this before, and then go back, and I mean, hey, it's a great resource. So
It is. It is. So another big news
more big
for
news.
for guys like myself and Jason and all us ZWO fans.
Oh, get me out of the
public
picture.
We can
beta.
finally talk about it
We can
officially.
finally talk about it. The
So-
public beta of 1.5 has been released.
Oh, really?
Yep. So it's now made it public.
Automatic focusing.
And on top of automatic focusing, the thing that we can finally announce,
Planetary.
we can do video and planetary, everybody. So it's really awesome.
Yes.
We've been excited.
Video.
It's kind of a last-minute throw-in, but it's getting really good reviews. The guys are really enjoying it. I haven't tested that part of it because I don't have a scope that I feel is really up to the challenge. But a couple of the other guys in the testing group have been doing Jupiter and Saturn because they were close. A few guys were staying up late and grabbing Mars, on Northern Hemisphere. So, it's a huge game changer for ZWO. So that's really cool what they've got coming to market. And now that autofocus is working almost flawlessly with every mount. There's still a few issues. For some reason, there's some hang-ups with Celestron still, but they're working really hard to get that cleaned up.
Yeah, I've had I've been working on the Bubble Nebula on my 126 millimeter. I took it down recently because I've had some issues. Yesterday was my first opportunity to use 1.5 to use the beta, and I kicked on autofocusing and had it, and don't know. And I think it's actually I don't think it has anything to do. I think it's more my focuser than the software, but after the Meridian flip, it goes through the autofocus again, and it would not focus. It would go through the sequence, and the stars, the HFD was like in the 20s and 30s. So it was crazy, and I know it's something with my focuser. So I took the 126 down, and now it's downstairs in what I call the astronomy tower in my workshop, and so I can work on it and figure some things out. So again, I know Jason and I, we were chatting yesterday when we were testing the call for tonight, and we were going through a couple of things here and there. So I've made some tweaks. So I'm anxious to get it back out there and go back after the Bubble Nebula because I've got so far, I want to say at least for the first half of everything, I probably got about 5 or 6 hours of the Bubble Nebula with the L Extreme. So I want to get back out there and see if I can hopefully get the EAF and get the autofocusing working and get it going. And I'm waiting for my second EAF because I knew that as soon as 1.5 was coming, I had to get another one. And I'm waiting for I ordered it from Woodland Hills, because they were the only ones at the time that said it was in stock. And so I ordered it. The next day, I'm waiting to see the confirmation. It says, yes, sorry, this one's out of stock now. You'll have to wait.
We don't have any. Nobody's got any.
You were just out of luck. So now I've got to wait for another one. So I had to take the EAF off the 126. So I'm basically swapping, going from the 126 over to the Rasa and doing the whole switcheroo, anytime I want to use these things. So I can't wait till I can finally get my hands on this thing.
Well, and Eric,
then, I'll be at the store tomorrow. I could check and see if I got any for you.
Yeah, let me know. And if you do, hey, give me a call. Give me a shout. Let me know.
One of the other things I wanted to bring up. One of the things I wanted to bring up for you, Eric, and for all the ZWO users, you can now do bug notifications within the software.
That's cool.
So they now have a bug report within the software, so you can do an entire report. I believe you can attach the logs. If not, it's something that's coming pretty soon. So it'll really help the engineering and dev teams really get things cleaned up when we start finding these things. So they're doing a ton of work to really get this thing dialed in.
Yeah, and I mean it's even nice. They're even starting to do. They even added the time and the battery of your of your tablet.
Of your device,
You
yep.
know, it even lets you know. So right there in the top left corner, they give you the time, so you know. Oh, I got to go to sleep. Something like that. So it's really it is really nice. I'm I'm gonna have to, because I was using my Beta um, Nebula UHC filter, and it won't come completely into focus. So I think I'm gonna have to switch over to and it's all the way in, so I can't get it further into focus, it looks like. So I'm gonna have to go over to the L Extreme into this and then get it into focus and look for another target for tonight and test out that autofocuser with the Rasa. So that's so I've just been playing around with that right now for the past 2 days and just trying to make sure, because I've never done anything like this before, but it seems pretty easy. It seems pretty easy. You just get it. So I mean, Jason, you tell me. Basically, you get it into manual focus with your focus with your Batinoff mask. Get it set.
Get it as close as you can.
Yeah,
as,
and then
as soon as you get it
press
close,
the autofocus.
then you should be able to click autofocus. It'll do a couple of initial test runs, and then from there, you should see it start building the bell curve, and then it'll come back once it's got enough data sets. Kind of do 3 to 4 has been my experience to get into the bottom of the curve, and then once it settles in, it'll do a red dot to say it's there, and it'll say it succeeded or failed. And then you can start imaging. If it's but I know they haven't had a ton of people be able to test them at the longer focal lengths, but with your Rasa, it's only 400.
Yeah, Mars is only 400.
Yeah,
so
I was shooting it with my ASCAR. I shot it with the ASCAR FRA 400 with the reducer in, so I was at 280, and it every time I even pushed it through like 5 or 6 focuses, backed it off, so it was out of focus to start with. Started a bigger bell curve, came in. It had to do 2 passes when I backed it out, but I was trying to break it. But it did get it in, and it did get it focused. So I did a total of 12 focus that I manually triggered, and then I had it every hour on the of imaging, and then on 2 degree Celsius change, and then again right after meridian flip.
So is that something that's here in the settings?
It's in the settings.
You can actually set it?
Yeah, so when you do the EAF, you can go in, and when you do the autofocus settings on the EAF tab, you can actually go in and change how often it does it. You can do it by time, by temperature, with the meridian flip as a radial on-off switch. There's 1 or 2 of the radial on-off buttons.
Yeah, so because I'm looking right here. So so you can set your exposure. You can go all the way up to 20 seconds, and I think I had mine at 5.
Yeah, I usually
you
do
can
5.
run autofocus. Autofocus, you're an autofocus and auto run, so every temperature change, either 2 degrees, 5 degrees, or 10 degrees, or 10 degrees Celsius, every up to 1, 2, or 3 hours, they will check. Do it on a filter change, before auto run start, and even after the auto meridian flip.
Yep.
So sweet.
So I had mine set to every 2 degrees, every hour, and at meridian.
Okay.
So
it that's
succeeded,
awesome.
Didn't fail. Gave me a really good bell curve. It was reliable results. I had some issues, but I don't want to pin it on the ASI Air at this point. I made the typical astronomer mistakes and took my scope out, and I hadn't checked everything. Switching from the FRA 400, which I've been shooting with for about 3 months now, I didn't check all the things I should have and made some mistakes. Didn't have the right counterweights on, didn't have it balanced properly. I changed out my guide scope rings, so the guide scope was not focused. So it was just like a barrel of monkeys spilling out of that thing. So I got halfway through my imaging night and realized I wasn't gaining ground. I said, I'm done with this. I went, called it a night, went to bed. And then I've been on the road now for 3 weeks. So
Right.
I didn't make it out during the week I was home. Now I'm here for 2 weeks. And I'll be flying home and then right back. So I won't be really able to image until the 20th of October at this point.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm like with you. I'm not going to blame it on the autofocusing or anything like that. I think for me, because when I set up installed the EAF, I may have done some minor oops and no-nos when I was swapping things and trying to get things set. So I'm hoping, and I didn't think about this, but I've seen a lot of people do it, where you would turn the OTA and the focuser, so it's basically upside down.
Yep.
And you have your focuser right there on top. So I ended up doing that because one weird thing that on mine is whenever it would reach zenith, or and you get that vertical point, the EAF motor has a heck of a time, especially in slow mode, to move. It doesn't frickin' move, or it barely does it, and all I hear is this whining of the motor, like this shrill whining. So I don't know.
Do you have any of the tensioning on?
I took the larger.
Yeah, the larger tensioning portion
off.
Yep.
But it does have some set screws, like 4mm set screws that are, I think, for tensioning. That I've been playing around with it and working with the motor and slightly trying to loosen it a little bit. And then going slow, having it set to slow and moving it, and then turning that tension screw and slowly loosening it so it can start moving, so it wouldn't probably catch. So maybe we'll see. Maybe I fixed it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that turns out. I know a couple of the guys have had to do something similar. Can't recall which scopes that the guys were talking about in the beta test group, but I know a few people have had to go that route of loosening those tension screws. Usually it's a quarter turn, just enough to take a little bit of that pressure off.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is the way that motor is torqued, you really don't need to have a ton of torque on the actual focusing assembly. The other thing that tends to come up too sometimes, and I wouldn't recommend doing it until we've guaranteed that this is the issue, but sometimes the grease that they use works fine when you're doing manual control, and it helps give you just that little bit of stickiness when you're doing manual focusing. But when you're doing the autofocusers, it tends to really gum up the works. And a couple of guys have cleaned it out and changed it out for a different lubricant. Still to protect the metals and things like that from getting damaged, but giving it a little bit more fluid consistency.
Doing something like some super lube or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
And
it's because
it's weird. You're still under warranty. You want to make sure you talk to your scope manufacturer before you do anything like that.
Yeah.
That will avoid the warranty on the focus.
Yep. So yeah, mine. I'm probably still under the William Optics warranty for maybe another few months, or maybe closer, maybe half year. But yeah, like I said, it's just really weird. And even on the fine, because like I said, if I do anything manually, it's fine. If I'm using the handheld, it's fine.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure out on the app itself. I don't know, and whoever else who has the EAF, I've been trying to maneuver or manipulate it, on the app itself, and it doesn't seem that it wants to move.
Well, what do you have the steps at?
Let me see here.
So I know for my finding course, and this was just me throwing a number out, not doing the actual calculations I should have. I was doing 100 at course and 10 at fine.
I am right now. I left it pretty much at default, so it's at fine, it's at 10, and at coarse, it's at 30.
Yeah, so what I did is I bumped course up to 100, because then you can really see it
Mm.
move, and you'll, especially
Okay.
if you're way out of focus, you'll see it.
Okay.
Once you get where you're close and you don't have to keep guessing every time, it'll
Mm-hmm.
be different as you're changing it back and forth scope to scope. But once you get one for each, um, you can then really get into that fine tuned area. But they recommend
Okay.
achieving a pretty good fine focus and then
Mm-hmm.
setting the device at its 50% mark, which should be 30,000 steps, I believe it was.
Okay, because right now my max steps, I'm still trying to really understand how to use the EAF. Like my max steps now, it says it's at 26,450. So I have to understand, okay, those max steps, how do we start? Okay, how do you start out? Do you start it where your focus is, where your focus tube is completely extended out or completely in? And then do you start working your way back?
I kind of went with that mentality. I started mine sucked all the way in,
Uh
and
huh.
started at 0, and then
Yep.
ran it all the way out, and couldn't get the steps that it had was greater than the distance that my scope would expand for the focus.
Okay.
So mine had a, I want to say it was like 3 or 3.25 inch draw, and at max steps I couldn't get it to extend any further. So it didn't quite get all the way out, but my focus points at about an inch and a quarter um, from 0. So
Your
at this
your
point,
your audio starting to fade in and out.
yeah, I'm a little bit further away from the mic. Well, it's hard for me too because I'm hearing myself in the headphones. That's why I had to take one ear off so I could talk.
Gotcha. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to just play around with this. That's the biggest thing is just to play around with it, and I'm going to pull it. Right now with the Rasa, um, I'm going to pull it all the way back out and slowly and then reset the steps back to 0 and pull it back in and then see where I'm at. Because I think that's one of the things especially since I'm swapping it out constantly between um, my two main scopes, the 126 and the Rasa.
Yep.
There's certain things I think I just need to do as a practice. That skeleton sometimes wigs me out. Just seeing it back
Us
there.
too.
It's like, hello, Eric. Like I'm just waiting for it to just turn its head slowly, like like Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yeah, right.
Just
Oh,
turn.
I thought.
Oh,
I am a huge Ash. I even bought an Ash T-shirt. It says S
oh, you
Smart
did?
on it.
S
Oh
smart.
yeah, it,
Don't shop.
it says
Don't shop.
S
Don't just shop smart. Shop S smart.
S Smart. This is my boomstick.
Nick.
I
Groovy baby.
love that. Give me some sugar, baby.
Give us a
I
sugar,
love that
baby.
song. What's wrong, your
But yeah,
soul? What's
I'm
wrong,
gonna
your
mess around with
soul?
this.
Sorry. I got
Oh,
the comic relief now.
You
yeah.
just want to make sure you could interject. I've been hogging too much of the show already.
Yeah, man. ZWO stuff, man. I got nothing to say.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
No, it's okay. A lot of people use ZWO, and it's a big part of the show. So, I mean, a lot of people use it. So,
Well, one of the things my dad brought up,
there
and
you go. Now you
since
got
I'm
to focus,
here,
though.
There you go.
I'll point out that one of the topics that my dad was kind of concerned with, because he being an amateur, even more so than me, which is kind of hard to believe, he was kind of confused when we started talking about some of this stuff and being a little bit more cautious about explaining to people that, his big example was what we're getting with the cameras versus visual. And, that's one of the things where the ASI Air has really shined, because it gives us a really good way to get a quick glimpse with it being able to do the auto stretch right in your device, whether it's a phone or an iPad, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's for an amateur that's just doing visual, it makes a big difference. And that's one of the things that my dad was pointing out. It'd be nice when we're doing some of this to really explain to the amateurs or visual only folk the things that we're looking for and that you won't see that we're picking up on camera.
Kind of lost
Say
you at
that
the end
again,
there, buddy.
because you kind of lost you there at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, we're having some streaming issues because I'm losing bandwidth, getting errors left and right on the screen. But I don't know if it's just bandwidth or YouTube.
Gotcha.
We were just fine last night. But one of the things I was talking about was what my dad was pointing out, and the differentiating when we're doing visual versus photography. And most of what we're talking about on the show is really photography based. We do reference visual, but for the most part, it seems like a large subsection of our viewers are imagers. And that's something that caught my dad a little off guard. He wasn't expecting that. So a lot of people that have talked to my father after seeing some of the images and stuff that I've shared with him, they didn't understand the amount of stuff that goes into getting these images.
Yeah.
So one of the friends of the family here were talking about some of the images I posted of the Veil Nebulous.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking to that gentleman and said, it doesn't look like that when he gets it. But, it takes stacking all the images and trying to explain it to him. But it kind of caught him off guard because he goes out and tries doing some of the visual, and he's like, I can't see what these guys are seeing. Well, you're not going to see it.
Right.
We're a Portal Class 8 here. Even if you get out into a Portal 3, it'll be hard to see some of the detail that we're able to see.
It'll be hard to see some of that stuff.
Far more sensitive.
But yeah, but speaking of visual, and even with with visual as well as with photography, is it in 2 weeks that Mars is in full opposition?
Yep.
So like the 13th or something?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the 13th of October or something.
I think it's the 13th or 14th of October, yeah.
Yeah, which is another reason why, it's so fantastic to have the 1.5 beta out now. It gives me an opportunity, to try out with my 8SC. I'll hook it up. I'll mount it onto my CEM60, but get it all hooked up and try my hand at planetary. With
there you go.
With the beta version, and start doing some videos from that, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll, and we talk a lot about outreach and stuff like that. To be able to actually take an iPad, something or a tablet to a kid, and they can actually it's kind of like EAA. The electronic astronomy, and being able to electronic assisted astronomy, and just do a video, using a Smith Cassegrain, and then or a Mac, and being able to let it go for a 2-minute video of them being able to see a planet. I think it'll be, that's going to be pretty cool. I think that'll be really cool for a lot of for outreach and stuff like that, to have this as a part of, having this as part of the ASI Air, and be able to then see this on a tablet. I think it'll be or a smartphone when you have the app on there. I think it'll be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the
there's another thing out.
Go ahead, Dan.
What was that?
Go ahead, Dan.
No, there's another thing out there as well, and if you're on a budget, on a shoestring budget, there's something out there called the Revolution Imager out there, that has its own. I think it's a 7-inch TV monitor, and it's basically an electronic eyepiece that will play right. And you could go out to a TV, you could go out to whatever, but it's like $299 for a full blown system. Now the
Nice.
quality's not perfect, but I mean for outreach to see things, and it does do the live stack on the fly. So I mean it's all in one package, and I believe his name is Mike, who owns the company. That does a really good job of putting it together. It's kind of like a way lower version of a Mallancam kind of thing. It's a little box imaging source type camera that goes right into
Okay.
the eyepiece. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good. Actually, I have one in the back.
That's okay.
I'm trying to sell it. So if anyone wants to buy
I've
it.
heard of the yeah, I've heard of the Revolution, and
Yep.
it's been really intriguing. You know, that's another, like you brought up a good point. That's another inexpensive way, you know, to introduce, you know,
Yep.
young people or just people in general into astronomy, and just letting them look at the planets and stuff like that. And who knows, if you have an opportunity, you can maybe even catch the space station, you know, or something like
Sure.
that. Who knows,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
So no, that would be pretty cool.
No, and I know a lot of
Yeah.
clubs are
Absolutely.
adopting this, and the Stellar made initially, but the GWO is really kind of taking over the market. But a lot of the astronomy clubs and stuff are taking and gobbling these things up because it's a quick, easy way for them to be able to outreach. But one of the cool
Yep.
things
Yeah.
too is like with the ability to control the scopes. What do you want to see tonight? Here's the things in the sky. Here's a list of 10 things. What do you want to go see?
Yep.
Click on this button. The scope's
Yes.
going to move right to it. It's going to plate
Yep.
solve. You know, explain to them
Yep.
so that they can understand some of the physics behind what has to be done. Um, you know, it's really cool how far technology has come just in the last five
Yep.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I got my 8SE, it's been now maybe 2017. So when she got it, when Robin got it for her birthday, so it's been just almost 3 years now. Um, and soon after that, I wanted to be able to make it a little bit easier for myself. So I ended up
Sure.
getting the Star Sense,
Yeah.
and for me, the Star Sense was a game changer.
Really? Okay.
For Yeah, it was a game changer for me for visual, because I hadn't got into photography yet, but it
Sure.
was just huge for me to now I have this. And then I had the Celestron app, which is basically just a watered down version of Sky Safari,
Yep. Yep.
um,
Skyport.
the Sky Portal, and I was able to start just with my simple 8SE, and I had
Mm-hmm.
the basic eyepieces, you know, the 25 millimeter eyepiece, you know, and stuff, um, and be able to see some really cool stuff initially.
Sure.
It was pretty impressive, you know, to be able to just you know, press a button on, you know, my phone or something like that and say, yeah, I want to go
Yep.
look at the Owl Nebula, or yeah, I want to go look at, you know, the Hercules cluster or something, or you know, it was really cool. So yeah, things have come a long way in the past 5 years. So I
Sure.
totally agree with you. Um, you know, there, Jason, that just, you know, for astronomy itself, you know, it's opened things up. There's so many new cool things that have just opened up the opportunity, you know, opened up the door for people to get involved if they really want to.
Yeah. I mean, the Star Sense is a really awesome accessory for that SE line. Even the
Yep.
evolutions, for that matter.
Yeah.
It's a really cool thing. However, I would just caution the people out there that really don't have any knowledge of how to use the accessories as far as the Star Sense is concerned. If you are in an area with a lot of trees, or you're very close to your house or something like that, just be aware that this is a camera, and this camera takes pictures. And if it's taking a picture of the side of your house or a tree, it's not going to be able to plate stop, and it's going to fail.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're in a wooded area, that doesn't mean you can't use it, but read into what's called the manual Star Sense alignment, and you could actually point the scope where you want it to point, and then take a picture, and then it will plate itself to that picture. So just read up on that. That's all I want to caution people about on that.
Yeah, good call out. Yeah. Fortunately, I've been lucky and I haven't had to deal with that because for
Yeah,
me,
I know.
I have a
You got a nice
decent,
flat area. I know. Yeah, I
a nice flat
know.
area, living in my little subdivision. There's no big trees or anything like that. So I was able to play it off rather easily. And,
Yeah.
with even like I said, with my son, we had that opportunity just for me to hang out with my son. With the 8SE, you know, he was really impressed. I mean, granted, he's probably more interested in a lot of different other things, but for him to have an opportunity and for us to share that moment together, for him to see some really cool stuff, I think he enjoyed it, and I know I did, just to be able to spend the time with him and explain to
Sure.
him, some of this, and we were able to even on Sky Safari. It's pretty cool that it has the audio tour,
Yeah.
so you can
Yep.
actually use the audio
Hear a
tour, and then
description.
I just press a button and hear a description of the target and
Yep.
stuff like that. So we got a kick out of that type of stuff. So it's really
Yeah,
fun.
that's
It's really fun to do that type
really
of
cool
stuff.
stuff. Yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
even the lower end meads have the audio star that can kind of give you a little an audio description of what you're viewing at, as long as you slew to it and you use the go to. It will give you, you hit play and it'll tell you, oh well, Jupiter is 180 million miles away, or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, it's got 187 moons, and
Yep.
whatever they're up to these days. But
Exactly.
hey, there's a lot of stuff out there that give you a lot of information. It doesn't all have to be Roblox or Minecraft. So
Yeah, exactly.
you could start you could start them up on a lot of good stuff, and
Yeah.
if you think about it, you know a lot of people out there don't have access to a telescope, or even a small telescope, and a lot of people out there, he's going to be seeing stuff that people will never see in their lifetime.
Yeah. Yep.
No matter what, no matter how old you are, you get a 90-year-old person and has never seen
Yep.
it before.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing.
Well, and that was one of the
Yeah.
kind of cool things that even though I've got a scope and I can take my daughter out and see stuff, she's equally as excited to spend time inside of Sky Guide. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the
Yep.
iOS. Um,
Yep.
Yep.
but, she always asks me, Daddy, can I see that?
Yes.
She just wants to
It's
be
gone
able to
dark.
see,
It's
and
gone dark.
well, it's actually there. It's just I have my screen brightness turned way down.
Gotcha.
But she knows where to scroll to go find Andromeda. She knows to go look for
Hmm.
Saturn, which is one of her favorites. But there's numerous nights when we're doing nighttime routine. Daddy, can we look at the
Yeah.
stars together? I'll lay in bed with her and we'll scan through the sky using the AR so that she can look at the
Hmm.
different stars, and she knows to pinch zoom in to go see it and click in the eye to get the info. You
Yep.
can't buy that type of connection with kids, and it's amazing
No.
to have
No.
that one-on-one
Can't.
connection, and it's cool that we have that. And that's really what's driven my
Yep.
passion. So, again, we're not going to be able to get more of people involved until we can drive this type of passion, and it's going to happen at the family level, and with
Yeah.
neighbors. And take
Yeah.
the neighbor kids, let them play with it, let
Yep.
them be engaged.
Yep. It was kind of
Yeah.
cool when Neowise came.
Yeah.
When Neowise flew through.
Yep.
I actually was able to get my neighbors who see me out in the backyard, and they see, and they're always like, "What do you got over there? You got a cannon or what? What is this?" And then I'm explaining to them, and they were actually able to come over, and we were actually able to, and I was actually taking shots of Neowise, and then pointing to it, and they were able to see it faintly. Um, but then, I'm using my iPad and everything, and they're like, you can see this from your iPad? And, they were just amazed. And every once in a while we have conversations about, what I'm up to, because they see me out there with my red light on and stuff like that. And they're like, oh, Eric, what are you
Yeah.
up to today? What are you going after? And we chat a little bit. They seem genuinely interested. And then I share with them like my AstroBin page, and they're really cool, and they get a kick out of it, and it's really nice to share that, and then they take a look every once in a while up at the sky and say, wow, that's there's a lot of really cool stuff out there. There's a lot of stuff that we never really we take for granted and never really
Yep.
think about, because we're doing our day-to-day stuff in our day-to-day lives, and then just to realize there's this massive universe out there that and we're
Sure.
only seeing a small piece of it, because we only see so much from within our own galaxy. So it's pretty cool, and to share a lot of this stuff with people. And then they say, how far is that? And I say, that one is about 2,500 light years away. And their jaw just drops.
What?
Well,
And
like
they're
tonight,
like, seriously? Yeah.
I was sitting there with a couple of coworkers, and they were looking over my shoulder because I was going through a couple of images with another coworker, and they saw the Neowise shot. He goes, "Well, how did you capture Neowise? Isn't that thing like streaking across the sky?" And I said, "Well, I thought it was going to do that. I didn't know how fast this thing was going to be moving." And then all of a sudden, I see the dust cloud just come like this over out of the horizon, and then up over the mountains. And I'm like, "How did I expect it to go right through the shot?
Yeah.
Fractions of a second to be able to capture it, and being able to sit there and watch it just slowly grow and go left or right. It was really cool."
Yeah.
And
It is really cool, when you have shots like that, like, Neowise. And then back, when I was a kid, or younger, I never had, when I think it was in my 20s, I never had a chance to see Hale-Bopp. I missed out on it.
Yeah.
But I could only imagine,
bummer.
and Hale-Bopp was actually even closer.
closer
I
and
believe.
bigger. Yep.
Yeah. So you can only imagine, if I had that opportunity. So I would have been like, wow.
Yeah, I was fairly
But
young when
there's
that
just
came
so many
through,
stuff.
so I didn't get to get a good glimpse at it. Being here, we have a lot of trees
Hmm.
because I grew up in the town,
And
so I'm familiar with the area
okay.
pretty well.
And it's just these little things, and just to have the opportunity to do this stuff now. I mean, like you said, it's within the past 5 years, we've had some serious game changing applications and pieces of equipment that have come out, and that are relatively affordable, for us, like the Rasa 8. I mean, I first saw the Rasa and I was like, oh my God. I saw the Rasa 36. I was like, that's $15,000 or $20,000. How can anybody afford that thing? And
Yeah,
then
right.
all of a sudden, and then eventually they come out with the 11. And it says, okay, that's nice, but yeah, I'm still on a budget. My wife will kill me if I do something like that. And then the 8 came out and I'm just like, Robin, I don't care. I'm buying it. We can afford this one. We can afford $1,600. This one will work. So, it's just those things in the ASI Air, that when that first came out, was it last year?
Yep.
If it came out, with the first year it came out, and then they come out with the Pro and they're adding on so much more stuff. I
Yep.
mean, one question I'm trying to figure out is, I think I posted it somewhere. Have we figured out how we can have more than one ASI Air running on our network?
I twice have been able to get 2 different ASI airs working on the network over
Okay.
hardwire, not wireless.
Okay, we're on.
So I am running a physical Cat5 cable to each device.
Okay.
But they
Okay.
do show up. So when you click on the Wi-Fi tab,
Hmm.
you can connect to either device. So you can disconnect
Okay, so you can't
one
choose
and
either device.
reconnect to the other, and they'll keep tracking
Okay.
because all you're doing is it's a window into the Pi.
Yeah.
So it's completely self-contained. Once you tell it what to do and what its objective is, it just goes.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it'll go until it fails or until it finishes its task and does what you told
Yeah.
it to. If it's going home and parking your scope or whatever other number of things you need to do. but I've successfully been able to run 2 devices. I technically have 3 and
Okay.
should probably test it, but I know some of the guys in the test group have done 3 or 4 over hardware.
Okay.
Huh.
Good, because that's curious. Now, so excuse me. So hardwiring, because I still got a version 1
So do I.
that is still like that, and I have to find out. Do you know um, what 1.5? How much 1.5 will be is compatible with version 1?
Most all
Do
of
you
the
know?
stuff I'm being told will work with V1. The only thing won't, of course, is the power stuff that isn't available to it. But most of
Right.
the architecture is there to be able to support it.
Okay.
I believe they'll be able to do the video capture. I haven't seen anything from the DWO stating otherwise.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody in the group tested on the one more than just its functioning.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I don't see anything other than the power capability that would keep it from being able to function.
Okay. Because like I said, I've got my 8SE, my Alt-Az, and I still have my AVX. So, and I would love to get the 8SE mounted and get it set up and use the 533 perhaps. Because I was doing some Sky Safari field of view indicators, and I think I could be able to get a nice shot of Mars just with the 533. With the
Well,
533, and because it has a much narrower field of view, and with that 8SE and the reducer, I think I can be able to get a nice shot.
and that's part of. I was going to put the V1 on the ASCAR, but having gotten so used to the power management and those 4 power ports for driving the
Mm-hmm.
system, the cable management was
Mm-hmm.
so much nicer. I didn't have to get the power box and other things. It just got so much easier for me. I went ahead and spent the money and got the second ASIR.
Oh, yeah, the
So
second
I
one.
have one on each
Yeah.
of my scopes.
Yep.
And then all I'm doing then is changing what camera's on which body, but the
Yep.
actual control interface and everything is all mated. It stays on the scope. Spotting scope stays with the actual telescope itself.
Okay.
So then it's just a matter of remembering the settings for each of the respective scopes and change them back and forth. But they both have the AFs. They both have the V2. I still have
Yep.
my V1 that I'll use for testing and things like that. Or if I eventually end up getting something to strictly planetary, if the planetary was fully working, I would use that as my planetary.
Okay.
With that, I won't need a
Because
guide scope.
that's good to know, because I've still got, like I said, I've got my V1, sitting right here, um, just sitting right here,
Yep.
and it's been collecting dust for a little bit, and I want to be able to get it out and utilize it, and so yeah, I'll get it, because I can definitely get another Cat 6 cable and hook it up to my power line, and in the garage, and just go for it. So sweet.
Yeah, I just ran a Ethernet cable out, and the couple of times that I've tested with the 2 units, I just put a switch on my back port, ran 2
Mm-hmm.
20-foot cables, one to each mount.
Yep.
And let her rip.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. Any questions out there so far,
No questions,
guys?
just a lot of comments.
There's a lot of comments.
Crappy screen quality.
Yeah, just a lot of comments. There was one question
Yeah.
about the filter changes on the ASIR.
Yeah.
I kind of said that I'm pretty sure that the filter tab was there even on the
It
first
is.
one.
Yep.
It is. It was on there on the first one, and yeah,
So
it'll
I did have
change
the
it.
first one.
Yeah. I believe there was a radial button for the autofocuser to change on filter change.
Yep.
Yes,
So we'll do it and follow all the same other radial checks.
Yep.
Mark said,
I saw that on
Jason, I think it's YouTube. The entire screen is fuzzy like watching HD on dial-up. I told him I was watching on its clear screen. I told him he must be watching through those chroma filters.
Yeah, no kidding. Because it's fine. Because I'm looking at the stream myself, and it looks fine for me.
Yeah,
I'm looking
Darn
at
chroma filters.
I'm getting some errors on my side with the stream, so it's having trouble. So some viewers may see some streaming issues, but I do think
Okay.
it's on YouTube side. If I keep, it'll instantly go back to
your audio is going in and out, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Power of the internet.
I do have like, what's that?
It said the power of the
You
internet.
guys want to see?
you know?
Yeah, you guys want to see the bubble nebula a little bit?
Yeah, go for it. What do you? Yeah, see how you're progressing here.
Let's see. I went in the wrong thing here. And again, it's a different type of image scale, but you know, let's see. Toggle screen sharing,
When you get it
entire
big, I'll
screen share, and then all right, and then. Oh wow,
you
that's
gonna
really
live stack it
small.
on the Eagle again?
What's that?
You gonna live stack it on the Eagle again?
No. Oh wow, I guess I moved to 03. Hold on, so let me open up an H2 one. Open image, not Pelican. And there we go.
Here it is.
So that little guy,
There
there's
it
the bubble
is.
right there. That little guy. And believe it or not, this whole
And-
thing right here, it's all nebulosity, all this.
Is that
And you got
is that a glob cluster?
I think it's considered an open cluster.
An open cluster?
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, but there is a nice little cluster there. And I'm not
Okay.
sure which bright nebula that is over here. But all
Okay.
of this is going to be filled with nebulosity. You can kind of see the shadow of it a little bit.
Okay.
All that is going to be nice. So hey, we'll see. You know, I'll do H alpha, O3, and S2. I'll do narrowband on the nebula. I'll take out the stars. And then I'll add RGB stars to it and see what it looks like.
That'll be the next thing I'd love to learn how to do is, to remove and then add RGB stars and stuff like that. Even with my one shot, switching out the filter, say if I'm using, either a IR cut or one of the beta filters, to do RGB for the stars and use these extreme or the triad for the nebula and the nebulosity. I'd be interested. I'd like to learn how to do that. That would be something pretty cool to do.
Yeah, I think like the theory behind it. Let me see if I can get back to that thing. The theory behind it is why is this going? Are you guys still seeing my screen?
Yeah, I'm seeing your back.
Yeah.
There you
There you go.
Yep, see you back right now. There you go.
So the theory behind it, I guess, is to register everything together. So it's all registered. The narrow bands are all registered to, and even the broad bands are registered to whatever auto-generated reference frame you have.
Okay.
And then you star net the narrow band.
Yep.
Grab the stars out, and then you integrate the RGB to the nebula picture.
Okay. With the stars already being
And-
removed, you just do a reintegration.
Yeah, so you got your RGB stack, and then you
Yep.
got your narrowband stack. You take your narrowband stack, you start net the narrowband stack,
Yep.
and then you integrate the two.
Okay.
So
So you basically are you integrating just your two master lights
yes,
together? Then you just integrate. So you're basically doing two lights and integrating them together. Okay.
yeah, and since they're all registered to the same auto reference frame,
Mm-hmm.
all the placement of the stars will be correct because it's going to go on the nebula. So you want to make sure
Okay.
that the registration is the nebula or the stars.
Okay.
Either one, it doesn't matter.
Or
Just
the
make
stars.
sure that you know which one you're registered to, or else you can really screw
Okay.
things up.
Gotcha.
But,
Gotcha.
But that's basically the theory. But I did it once with with some help from a friend of mine, Minos. He helped me with the RGB stars in the Heart Nebula.
Okay.
and that was basically the thing. You would do you could actually do take the stars out of. You could actually do it the other way too. You could actually process each narrowband channel and each broadband channel separately, and
Yeah.
then integrate everything into one like that. You could do that as well.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's when you know you gotta have that's when you have your monocam.
Yep. Yep. You know what? One of the people that one of my I guess my astrophotography students was on the Masters of Pix Insight thing on Saturday, and she
Okay.
won a 30% off of a brand new QHY CCD 294 mono.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
30% off. That's a nice chunk of money to save.
yep. Well, another gentleman won a brand new camera, 294 mono, free.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pretty
they gave it
cool.
away last night. They gave it away last
Pretty,
night. So
that's pretty darn cool, man.
of course I
That's
won
awesome.
nothing. So they gave away also 2 gift certificates for $100 towards Optilong filters.
Okay.
So and yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's nice.
They got a
Yeah,
little
it's
hat
that's a
with the
nice
names in it.
that's a nice little that's a nice little thank you from the Master of the Pix Insight when you're able to do something like that when you're you know joining them to learn some new stuff. I mean, because personally, I think this just the knowledge is just a prize in itself. Just gathering that
Yeah.
amount of knowledge from these
Yeah.
guys.
Oh man,
So,
it's awesome. It's awesome, and I
yeah.
appreciate them doing it.
So,
It's great.
yeah.
But well,
So
I got to bring this up because I'm like super excited about this. I know it has nothing to do with astrophotography, but Jason introduced me to some news last night. Now I don't have Apple TV, and the new platform, the new streaming platform from Apple, and I am a huge fan of Isaac Asimov, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but I'm a huge fan of it. I'm a huge, and what they're doing is they're doing a show, Foundation,
Yep.
and it's people have been trying to make this movie for like 50 years, and nobody's been able to kind of get a script together or pull it off in any sort of way. It's kind of like the '84 version of Dune, and it's like you have it and you screwed it up, and nobody wants screwed up, so they're finally coming out with a movie, Foundation. It's a series, I think it is, right, Jason?
Yeah, it's actually a series. It's actually a
Yeah.
series. Yeah.
It's a series, and it looks awesome. The graphics look awesome, and it's supposed to come out early 2021, I think. And I'm super excited. I just got to say that.
Well, it's
I'm
funny. We
super
were sitting there
excited.
talking about it last night. I'm like, am I smoking crack? I know I've seen this thing. And then I went and asked my wife, who's a huge sci-fi nerd, and she's like, it's a sci-fi thing. It's like Star Wars. It inspired George Lucas with what he did with Star Wars.
Yep.
It's this big thing. And so I'm sitting there Googling it. So I sent the link over to Dan yesterday. Dan's like, oh my
yeah, I
God!
watched it immediately. I was so psyched, man. I'm so excited. I'm almost as excited for that as I am the new Doom movie. If the new Doom movie wasn't coming out before.
Have you seen any of the clips?
The new trailer,
the release of the trailers of the Doom. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that worm looks sick. The worm looks sick. It's great.
Oh man,
doesn't look like a big.
I can't wait.
Well, doesn't look like a big eggplant, I guess. Eggplant emoji. But it looks great. I'm hoping that the thing that makes me nervous about it is that sometimes when you get all these actors and actresses together of such high caliber, they have a really superstar cast in this movie, and sometimes it's either all or nothing. It's either super awesome or it super sucks, and I'm just hoping it's not another. Dune is only one of 5 movies in Leonard Maltin's book of movies that is rated a turkey. and And I think I may be dating myself talking about Leonard Maltin. He's like a Siskel and Ebert, or he's a movie
Yeah.
He
reviewer.
predated Siskel and Ebert, didn't he?
He did.
He had a
But
weekly
I'm kind
review
of
show, didn't he?
yeah. Oh yeah.
He
He had a weekly review show.
He had because he was the one. Little Monster. Was he the one with the glasses and the mustache?
Yep.
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 Oh no
Yep.
mustache. No
Yeah,
mustache.
no mustache,
mustache?
but do you have glasses?
No mustache.
Okay.
Leonard Maltin was
Okay.
he had a dark hair. He had dark hair and glasses. He's like a real skinny, short guy.
Well, and his
Okay.
set was
he,
like the predecessor to the 60 Minutes type look, because he kind of
Yep.
walked around a green screen type environment, and then he talked
Yep.
about all the videos. It was ahead of its time.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I'm with you though, man. I hope Dune doesn't suck. I really don't. Same thing
I don't
with
think it's
Foundation.
gonna, man. I was watching it, and the music behind it. If you watch the trailer, the music behind it, it's a normal song. It's a popular song that they changed, kind of.
Okay.
All that you have and all that you need, or whatever. It's like it's weird.
Yeah.
It's this weird, and they changed it to be this creepy kind of song, and it just sent
Okay.
chills on my skin, and I'm like, I got chills from it. I was like, oh my god, this is happening. I've been waiting
awesome.
35 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
This movie.
Because when it came out, the first one came out like in 80 what?
84, I think.
83, yeah, it's like 83, 84, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, 84, I think.
And
Yeah,
why
so
is this? Because he is the Kwisatz
that little baby gave me nightmares. That was a freaky little baby. Dude, it was scary, man, that thing. Say hello to my little friend.
Right. Oh, jeez, that's so. So,
Yeah.
what is what do you guys have? So, are you still working on the bubble for right now, or what's going to be your next ideas as far as your targets or anything like that, or what you're
Man,
looking
I don't
forward to
know.
next?
I don't know right now. I mean, I gotta really rethink if my next project's gonna be at almost 1,000 millimeters. I gotta really rethink about what I'm doing. So,
Okay.
not sure what
Yeah.
I'm not sure what. I mean, I would think something a little bit. Maybe I could do something like the owl and what's that galaxy over there? 108, is it?
Okay.
That right in the bottom of the Dipper where the Owl Nebula is 97 and 108, 107, something like that. It's right along the bowl of the Dipper.
Yeah. I know. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So,
one of my first images was the owl, and that was kind of cool. One of my first images when I first started with my 8SE was the owl, and the other one was M51. So
yeah.
I actually
Maybe
found
M51 might be good too. Yeah, M51 might be good. I don't really have a really good photo of M51 because
Okay.
in an 80 millimeter, it's kind of small.
Yeah.
So 101's good in an 80 millimeter. I got a decent shot of that. But I think that's like really one of the few galaxies besides Andromeda that I could kind of get that, George is doing the Pac-Man Nebula. Mark Ellis is doing the dumbbell.
What about 33? Is that too
Triangulum?
too big? Yeah. Is that too big for 1,000 or 900?
That should fall in pretty
Might
good for
be.
1,000 millimeter.
I think it falls. It might be able to fall in really good.
That's
Which
one of the
with
smaller spiral galaxies.
yeah, it is.
I know
No,
for
'cause,
me
yeah,
it's
I
a little
can-
spec at, I'm at 714, so I can only fill like a 10-point ring. But 1,000 millimeter, you should be able to get that a little bit better.
Yeah,
What'd
yeah,
you say?
should
Which
be
one?
able to.
The
The
triangulum?
M33, the triangulum, to
Triangle?
get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been able to get that one with my 126, and that's at about 980 millimeter, and that fit really well. with my 294. I haven't tried it with my 533 yet, but with my 294 it worked pretty well.
I'm going to be using probably the 160, the QHY 163, the color one.
Okay.
That's a QHY. Let's see if it's even on the QSI. Wow, they don't have any QHYs on here. That sucks. They have very little. Let's try that.
Another target which would really be good for you is the one I just wrapped up, which was the Cave Nebula. The Cave Nebula would be a good target for that.
So I got a L Enhance too that I could use.
Okay.
I can put that in the folder drawer.
Yeah,
So do you use the L Enhance? Because I've never actually done. I've never used the L Enhance. Do you use your L Pro in front of the L Enhance as well, or just use the L Enhance?
No, I just use the L Enhance. No, I don't stack.
It's kind of a one or the other.
Yeah, use one or the other.
And to be quite honest, if you're doing Triangulum, you're probably better off with the L Enhanced or the L Extreme.
Yeah.
Because of
really,
to get the
kind of like a broad.
It is a broadband target, but you can get some good. It is a broadband target, but you can get some. But I know it has some good hydrogen in there.
Oh yeah. It's got some nice like purple packets.
Yeah, but the Enhance will work really well for that. Pro probably won't pull quite as much color detail as the Enhanced, and then you'll be able to get a lot of the reds and blues.
Gotcha.
A fair amount of the Bubble, I think you'd be better off with L Pro.
Well, I got an L Pro too, but I don't use it. I use the Batamoon Sky Glow.
Yeah. Roughly the same thing, right?
Yep.
Slightly different frequency ranges, but roughly the same target.
Let's see. I just slewed the scope to IC 1318. IC 1318. Which one is IC 1318?
George is saying at nearly 1,000 millimeter, it fits perfectly into the FOV. Yeah. The L Pro is better for Galaxy.
It's a Gamma Cygni. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a shot of mine of M33, and it fit in this with my 294, and it fit really well. It was perfect. You know, if I have it on my Astroman page, I'm just looking at it, and it was right there.
You want to pull it up there?
Yeah, I can. Sure, I can pull it up. Yeah. Let me.
George, what said L Pro is better for galaxies?
What millimeter scope are you using for that?
This was the 126. So this was at 970 millimeter.
Okay.
And this was with the 294.
Okay.
Yeah, it should fill frame nicely.
So it should feel for you in really, really well. So this is one I took this, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago when I first got my 126. So I'm going to go after this one because this is one of the ones where, all right, I've learned a few things. I want to go after it again and see if I can, because I know I can go back and I know I can do better.
I know part of when I did my processing on that, I got a little bit more of the blue, but I was also using the L Pro. And then I think I am again with the L. I got a little bit better overall color rendition.
Okay.
Using
yeah, because I was using my Beta Moon and Sky Glow with this one when I did that M33. So yeah, I want to try it with either the L Pro.
That's just the Moon and Sky Glow. That's it.
Yeah, that was just it. Just the Moon and Sky Glow. Yep, that was it. Right. So yeah, I definitely want to try to maybe I'll grab the L Enhance and try that one out. So I think it'll do really, really well.
Yeah, I think
maybe I'll make it out of my box. You know, that's been sitting for literally like 6 months. finally put it in here, and actually use the camera for something. Now you just got to
There you
take
go.
everything. I got the other. I got the Banner Moon and Sky Glow in the front of the coma corrector, so I'll take that off,
Right.
and then I'll pop in the.
Kind of
I'm
an
wondering
interesting
how this is
topic.
going to work with the.
To kind of address maybe on another show, but what would happen if we did stack a couple of filters? Other than it's obviously going to need considerably longer exposures because you're doubling your.
Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, you're definitely gonna deal with longer exposures, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
that's why I was wondering, because if you got a light pollution filter that's knocking out all the other stuff, and then an L enhanced, which is giving you your H beta H alpha 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's something we'd have to. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think I might be.
I guess best practice is probably just to use the L enhanced by itself, but I mean, who knows?
Well, the flip side of that is then doing 2 nights of imaging with the OSC and made them together in PI.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm never going to get 5 nights in a row again on Long Island.
Oh, yes, you are.
I I don't remember anything like this. It's like the world's coming to an end.
Well, you just end up packing all your stuff. You and Eric are going to come out to Arizona, crash at my place, and we're going to sit there and image like crazy.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
You guys are already talking about loading up the RV.
Yeah.
Well, we'll rent the
Say it again, Dan?
Oh, listen, you know what? I was doing some thinking about, we brought it up a couple of shows ago about that either eye telescope or SLU or something like that to get some southern targets.
Yeah.
We kind of left that alone, and I want to throw it out to the people again that are. I'm going to put it on the AstroWorld. I'm just going to make a 2-minute video just to kind of promote it, and maybe we could make some sort of account, and everybody could kind of, either put donate, put some cash into it. I think it's like what is it like? It's like $1 a minute. It's expensive. It's not cheap.
It's expensive. Yeah. It's like $1 a minute or something like that. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
cheap.
It's like $1 a minute, but you think about it, it's $60 an hour. So I mean, so you think about it, and if you want to get any sort of good data on it, you got to, it's in Chile or wherever in South America, you're going to need a couple hours worth of data.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I would say we need at least probably like $400 or $500 in the kitty to start getting something decent, and then we would make that data available to everybody on AstroWorld, and do like a little contest with a giveaway on who did the best processing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and make that into something a little bit more too, where we can have them kind of go through the process of how they processed it and why they did it that way.
Yeah,
that might be
maybe get the top 5 people to kind of go back and walk us through their process.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, learn a little bit about that. Yeah. Am I still showing my screen?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, you're still showing your screen. Stop
sharing at the bottom. It'll give me back your
camera. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. Hello.
And we're back.
And we're back. But no, I would be totally fine with that because I still want to go after the dragons, man. I know Simon shared his.
We got a nice Dragons of Ara, man.
Era. Oh man, that's one that I really want to go after, and and yeah, that one is just I love that nebula.
It's awesome.
And every time he shoots it, he sends it to me.
Yeah, he does. He does. It kills me.
He just digs that knife a little further in.
Just digging it in.
Keep it up.
Yeah, you like that, don't you? You like it like that, huh?
No, you love that one.
But I'm a big I used to be a big Dungeons and Dragons player fan, and my thing is and eventually what I'm going to do, and I got 2 or 3 photos already for it. I want to do a 9-panel picture of just nebulas or whatever, obviously most likely nebulas, of just like Dungeons and Dragons kind of things. So I want to do a Thor's helmet. You know, I want to do a
Throw,
wizard, a
yeah,
Thor's helmet, a
yeah.
tarantula, a dragon.
There
You
you
know,
go.
do stuff
There
like
you
that.
go.
You know the Medusa's head. You know that kind of stuff. You know,
Yes, that would be awesome.
you know,
Oh, that would be
and
another
that's
great
my
target.
plan.
What were
That
you
What's
would be
saying,
that?
Eric?
another great target. That's another great target I think that's coming. Is Medusa. Though there's a
Yep,
lot of
dude, I
people
love that
targets that
thing. Dude, with
are
the
and that
eyes
would
and that
actually
thing, it's awesome.
yeah. And I think that would do really well with a 1,000 millimeter.
Yeah.
Um, to grab that. Is that Abel? Which one?
Um, Medusa. And
Because I
21.
know it's not. Yeah, Abel 21. Okay. Planetary Nebula. There she
Yeah, look at
is.
that. That's sick.
Yeah, and at 1,000, and at 1,000 millimeter, you'll be dead on. That's gonna be great.
When do you guys share your
Do
screen
that.
so
Do
that
that in
Yeah,
narrowband.
the viewers
That's
can
an
see it?
awesome
yeah,
narrowband shot.
yeah. That would be sweet. Here, let me share my screen here, and
Yep.
because this is with the 294, and this is at 970.
Yep.
Heck, if I switch over to my 533, even narrower.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah.
So that's gonna be sweet. And this, it comes out. The best time for it is actually in winter. So the
Yep.
best scene at winter, February 10. So okay, and this is what I'm using Telescopius for a lot, for so much planning. You know, like I'll set up, like reminders. And I started just doing
I
this
got to
like
get
winter
into that
target,
that
stuff like
website.
that. It's really really freaking cool, and it's free. Um,
Yep.
but you can donate, and I signed up and I donate, a couple bucks a month to help the guy out who's doing this, um, to help contribute to his Patreon account to help keep the site going. So, and it was really inexpensive, like $2 a month. But
Yeah.
no, this is a really really cool site, and I love it that I can go in here. And you can see them in Stellarium, or I can set up my, like I said, my 2020. Like I was working on open clusters,
Yep.
and I have a list of open clusters that I'm planning on wanting to go after. So,
Cool.
I mean, it's pretty darn slick. It really is, and it lets me know what's available now. Because there's an open cluster, yeah, Messier 39, in
Yep.
Cygnus, and then
Yep.
of course you got Pallades. That's the great, one of the best open clusters. But there's so many
Yep.
others that you can do. So I mean, definitely, I
I've
would,
always I've always been partial to the M11, the Wild Duck.
yeah, the Wild Duck's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one
so
bright star in the front. I love that thing.
yeah, yeah, there it is.
There it is. You see there is that one star right there.
Yep.
If
You
you
guys are
go,
making me jealous. I'm not
there's
going to
a
be able to image for a month.
what's that?
You're
So
making me jealous. I can't image for a month.
Oh, geez.
So this is a fantastic open cluster, and if you
Yeah,
go,
that's more like in I want to say April, May, I think,
yeah,
or
it
even the
is. Like there's like
summertime,
here, yeah, this is summertime one because it was telling me here this one's best seen August at 41 degrees because it
August.
gives me a daily. Yeah, so it gives me a daily, but then if I go yearly, it'll tell me at set altitude, like say what time. I say 10 o'clock, so it tells me at 10 o'clock it's going to be best seen on August 17th.
Yep. Yeah, so it looks like it
So
goes all the way from July to
it's
August.
yes. So it starts out a little bit around 21 degrees in late June, and then it just climbs up. So definitely one that I'm going to actually put right now. Open clusters.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty slick.
One of the things that Mark was just pointing out on the chat was that the cool thing is you can export all this and take it into SGP and
Yep.
be able to set up that sequencing so you have it
Yeah.
there ready to go.
Yep.
That is, I'm really curious what's going to be. ZWO added additional catalogs now. They added Sharpless, the Sharpless catalog. They added on. I know they already had IC, NGC, and the Messier,
Yep.
but I think they just did Sharpless, and I think one other
Comet.
catalog.
They added the Comet catalog.
The Caldwell?
Comets.
Oh, the Comets. Comets. Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to get it in for NeoWise and didn't quite make it, but they did get it up a couple weeks after NeoWise.
Okay. No, yeah, they added Caldwell. So they added. So they have. Yeah, so they have
Nice.
Comets, Messier, NGC, IC, SH2, Caldwell, and they have double stars. And then, of course, you do your customs. So they're expanding. They're expanding the catalog. As far as what they're adding on to their own personal catalog. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Cool.
So, all right, guys. So let me see. There's another I'm waiting for, and that is the Cone Nebula. There's this one target. It's called the Fox Fur Nebula that I've been keeping an eye on. Yep. It's right there next. It's right it's part of the Cone Nebula. And it looks gorgeous. And it's one of those where you question, it's like, these are times you want to have a mono for that sensitivity and to do, the true SHO, and stuff like that.
Get that new 294 mono.
No.
It's only $1,600.
It's only $1,600. But like we were talking earlier, Jason, it's like, when you get, yes, granted the sensitivity, there's no question about the sensitivity of a mono, but the technology that is consistently happening and being improved and changing for one-shot color, it's making a valid argument on do you really, want,
what's the trade-off?
What is the trade-off? What's that trade-off? I mean, yes, you have that sensitivity. Yes, there's the bear, and stuff like that. So you are losing, because you have the, so you are losing,
the bear matrix in the front.
But but with the new filters that keep coming out, and the cameras that keep coming out, it's making it really hard for me to justify going to a mono. Just for where I can get everything done in one night or in a couple of nights with one filter, and then have just one set of calibration frames, and then doing like what I've done. I do with APP, and you can do it with PI. Split the channels, and then do that false color quote kind of pseudo SHO. You start making an argument, make a valid argument about, do you really need to go that route? So
I would really like to see, like maybe since you guys are like the color cam guys and I'm the monocam guy. I mean, as far as scale is concerned, that may be a little bit different, but I'm just wondering if we both did the same target in the same time, and maybe just did a if either I did RGB and you just did just a regular color shot, and see what the difference is.
Well, you guys are both friends with TJ, and he's been on the show before. Did you see what he did with the partnership with the two other astrophotographers? Both of which
he did it with Drew. He did it with Drew and another guy
with OPT.
OPT.
And it was kind of cool because they had the one guy shooting mono, and he did the HA, and then they used the one-shot colors to then look at different narrowband filters and put it together, and it actually came out looking really cool.
No. What I'm saying is to check the see what the real difference is between a mono and a color, based on, you know, I'll shoot RGB, you'll shoot one shot color. We both shoot. I have an 80, so one of you guys have an 80, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, Eric's.
And put them next to each other.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty. You know, I've got my Rasa, which is pretty close to the same focal length as an 80.
Yeah, it's the same exact focal length as my 80.
Yeah. So, because you've got, what's your focal length, around 400 or so?
400.
Yeah. So,
okay, well, I could do it with the
that's the same thing with the Rasa. Yeah, so you can do it with the Ascar too. So there you go. So yeah, you know, just pick a nice broadband target, and yeah, and let's process and see what we can come up with. And I think it'll be a really cool experiment. Next week. Yeah, I think it'd be a good experiment. Like. Yeah. I think I'd be good with
that one. I won't be able to play on this round, but
I'll take a look and see. Yeah, I'll take a look and see what the weather's like, because it's supposed to start getting, you know, Mother Nature giveth, and then she taketh away.
Yep.
7 days. No more for you.
Yeah, no more for you. You've had enough. Go get some sleep.
No sleep. Oh my God! I
Spend
can't
some
wait
time
to
with
get
your
sleep
family.
this weekend. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm like, you know, because I stay up for the meridian flip, and you know, and then I get up at 6 a.m. So I'm getting like, you know, probably 4 hours, 5 hours sleep, and you know, it's been like that for 5 days, and I'm just tired, man. My body, you know what? I'm a wuss when it comes down to sleep. So I need my sleep, and if I don't, my body starts crashing, and that's what I'm feeling now. It's just like my body just like, it's like I got run over by a truck.
Any more than 4, my body doesn't know what to do with, so I just.
I'm
probably with
Dan there.
I gotta be to work at 6.
Yeah, I'm probably with Dan there. It's like, you know, I need, you know, a certain number of hours, man, because I can be, if I really wanted to be, I could be a freaking vampire, man. I could be up until the crack of dawn the next day, especially imaging. I remember, I'll never forget the first time I really started doing with my 183 and my my GT71. And I was imaging. I was imaging. I can't remember what I was imaging at the time, but then all of a sudden, it was getting closer towards dawn, and it was in the fall. And then all of a sudden, I saw Orion, and I said, I was going to go to bed. It's like, oh, screw that! I'm getting Orion. And I was up another like 2 or 3 hours imaging Orion. You know, because it had to be like maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, because I was going to go to sleep. And like, nah, Orion's out. I've got to get Orion. So, and it's probably gonna be the same thing. I'm going to end up, you know, with Pleiades, you know, and Orion again. I might, you know, get to that point where like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Ooh, yeah, it's time to, you know, I see them out now. they're past that pesky tree. My neighbor's pesky oak tree. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. Well, guys, I'm actually gonna call it, because it is 10 o'clock, or just about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's 11.
It's 11 there, and
it's 11 where he is too.
Yeah, and I got to be to work at 6.
You are now too. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, guys, so great show as always.
Yeah, great show.
Let's come up with a target for the I guess the 80 millimeter experiment, and
there you go.
Or the 400 millimeter experiment rather.
I'm down with that.
George Lutch is saying Spaghetti Nebula.
Spaghetti Nebula, we could do that.
Okay,
could do that. And let's say Mark said it's supposed to be clear for the next week. Thank you, Jason, for taking the clouds with you.
So, you know, Ray didn't need to see this.
But yeah, we could do that, and you know, and actually, somebody made a point on if we're going to do the eye telescope, we should kind of take votes on 1 or 2 targets of what we want to get. So, as a group, because
because I'd be interested. The dragon would be one for me as far as a nomination. Another one, of course, would be Karina.
But how much of the dragon are we going to? Well, I guess we can, because it's Southern Hemisphere.
Well, we could choose whatever telescope we want.
Yeah, you can choose whatever telescopes you want. And then, maybe another one would be tarantula. We have to take a look around. We have to take a look around and just see what the possibilities are. But there's some really awesome targets out there in the southern hem. And I know Simon will give us some suggestions too.
Oh, I'm sure
he'll be like, oh, yeah.
You got to do the dragons.
You got to do the dragons, and you got to do, of course, you got to go after the Magellan, and the Carina Nebula.
The Magellanic, I can't pronounce it. Those clouds, the small one and the long one.
God bless.
But,
oh man!
All right, well,
guys.
it's 11
yes,
o'clock.
We've.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, guys. Have a good night. Jason, stay safe coming home. Eric, I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. And all right,
good,
guys,
brother.
have a good night. Remember,
all right, clear
keep
skies,
shooting,
everybody.
keep educating, keep having fun. We'll see you guys next time on AstroWorld TV. Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.